Admiral Jake Morrison stood at the wide window of Luna Station, watching Earth slowly turn below him. The blue and green planet looked peaceful in the morning light. Ships moved quietly between Earth and the Moon, carrying grain and vegetables to other worlds across the galaxy. Most people in the universe thought Earth was just a big farm. They were wrong. Morrison had gray hair and tired eyes. He had been keeping Earth's biggest secret for 20 years. On paper, he commanded 30 old ships that could barely fight a small pirate crew. The truth was very different, but only 5 people in the entire solar system knew it. His door chimed. Softly, Lieutenant Commander Amy Foster walked in with a worried look on her face. She carried a data pad that glowed red, which meant the information was highly classified. "Sir, we have a problem," Amy said. She was young but smart, one of the few people who knew about the real fleet hidden throughout the solar system. "The Zephyrians are moving ships toward our sector. Lots of ships." Morrison turned from the window. The Zephyrians were tall, reptile-like beings who loved war more than anything else. They had been part of the Galactic Assembly for 400 years and controlled the biggest military force in known space. If they were coming to Earth, it meant trouble. "How many ships?" Morrison asked. "Our scouts count over 800 capital ships gathering at the edge of Zephyrian space. They have ships from the Korthak Empire too, and 3 other species," Amy replied. "War Marshal Kexthar is leading them personally." Morrison knew that name. Kexthar had conquered 12 worlds for the Assembly. He was cruel and smart, never starting a fight he could not win, or so he thought. "What reason are they giving?" Morrison asked. Amy checked her data pad. "They say Earth is not producing enough food for the galaxy. They want us to give up 60% of our farmland for their colonies. They also want to move almost 3 billion humans to work camps in the Outer Rim." Morrison felt anger rise in his chest, but his face stayed calm. This was not really about food. The Assembly had been watching humanity for 50 years, worried that humans were becoming too smart and too strong. Some alien leaders wanted to stop that before it became a real problem. "How long do we have?" he asked. 72 hours, Amy said. "After that, they will take what they want by force." Morrison nodded slowly. "Send a message to President Carter. Tell her it is time for Protocol 7. Amy's eyes went wide. Protocol 7 was the code that would wake up the real human fleet. Ships that had been hiding as space junk and mining stations for over a century would finally show themselves on Earth. President Lisa Carter sat in the emergency meeting room deep under the White House. Around the table sat the leaders of every major nation. They all looked scared. On the big screen, they could see the huge alien fleet gathering at the edge of their solar system. "How can we fight them?" asked the Prime Minister of Europe. "We have 30 ships. They have 800. Carter looked tired. She had been president for 6 years and had always known this day might come. Her grandfather had started building the secret fleet back in 2237. After the first human diplomats realized that many alien species saw them as a threat. "We will give them our answer in 72 hours, she said calmly. "Until then, we prepare for what comes next." After the meeting, Carter walked to her private office. She opened a safe that only she knew about and took out a small device that looked like an old radio. She pressed 3 buttons in a special order and spoke clearly. "This is Phoenix to all nests. The Eagle has landed. Repeat, the Eagle has landed." Far out in the asteroid belt, Commander Ryan Bell was checking the daily reports from his mining station. The station looked old and worn down, just like the 50 other mining operations scattered through the belt. Miners came and went, digging up metals and ice to sell to other worlds. The truth was very different. Ryan's mining station was actually a battleship the size of a small city. The miners were some of the best soldiers and engineers in human space. The asteroids around them were weapons platforms and shipyards that had been building new vessels for decades. Ryan heard the coded message come through his private radio. He had been waiting for this moment for 15 years. He walked to what looked like an equipment room and pressed his hand against a hidden scanner. The room changed. Walls slid away to show a command center filled with screens and control stations. Officers in military uniforms looked up at him, waiting for orders. "All stations, this is Bell," he said into his microphone. "Protocol 7 is now active. Begin wake-up procedures for all sleeping ships." Throughout the asteroid belt, similar scenes played out. What had looked like broken space junk suddenly came to life with lights and power. Mining ships grew weapons from hidden compartments. Empty asteroids opened up to reveal battleships that had been waiting in the dark for over 100 years. War Marshal Kexnar stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominion's Edge. The massive ship was 5 miles long and carried enough weapons to destroy a small moon. Around him, hundreds of other ships moved through space like a pack of hungry wolves. "Report on the human fleet," he ordered his intelligence officer. 30 ships, mostly old frigates," the officer replied. "They have no battleships and no real weapons. This will be an easy victory." Kexthar smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Good. Once we control Earth, the other species will see that humans are not as special as they think. The galaxy will be ours to rule." He did not know that human sensors had been watching his fleet for weeks. He did not know about the ships hiding in the asteroid belt or the weapons platforms disguised as space stations. Most importantly, he did not know that humanity's greatest strength was making enemies think they were weak. The war was about to begin, but it would not go the way the aliens expected. The 72 hours passed like a bad dream. On Earth, people watched the news and saw the huge alien fleet getting closer to their solar system. Many packed their bags, ready to leave their homes forever. Others stood in the streets, angry. But helpless. War Marshal Kexthar's fleet arrived right on schedule. 800 ships of different shapes and sizes filled the space around Earth's moon. Some were long and thin like spears. Others were round and covered with weapons. All of them were bigger than anything humans had ever built, or so the aliens thought. On the bridge of the Dominion's Edge, Kexthar looked at the small human fleet waiting near Mars. 30 little ships trying to protect an entire world. It was almost sad. "Open a channel to the human commander," he ordered. Captain Helen Brooks appeared on the screen. She was a middle-aged woman with short brown hair and a calm expression. Her ship, the New York, was a light cruiser that looked tiny compared to the alien vessels around it. "I am War Marshal Kexthar of the Galactic Assembly," the reptilian leader said. "You have had your time to think." "What is your answer?" "The answer is no," Helen said simply. "Earth will not surrender its people or its land." Kexthar's yellow eyes grew cold. "Then you have chosen to die. Your 30 ships against our 800. This is not brave, human. This is stupid." "Maybe," Helen replied, "but we will not go quietly." The channel closed. Kexthar turned to his weapons officer. "Destroy them all. Make it quick." The battle began badly for the humans. The alien ships moved forward like a wave of death. Their weapons were powerful and accurate. The human ships tried to fight back, but they were too small and too few. Helen's ship, the New York, fired its main guns at a Korthik heavy cruiser. The energy beams hit the alien ship's shields and did almost no damage. In return, the cruiser fired back with weapons that could melt steel. The New York shields failed quickly. "All ships retreat to Mars orbit," Helen ordered over the radio. "We cannot win this fight." One by one, the human ships fell back. Some were destroyed by alien fire. Others were badly damaged and limping away. Within an hour, the battle was over. The human fleet was either destroyed or running for home. Kexthar watched the last human ship disappear behind Mars. That was easier than I thought, he said to his officers. Send word to the assembly. Earth is ours. But far away in the Kuiper Belt, Admiral Morrison was watching the battle on his screens. He stood in the real command center of the human fleet, hidden inside what looked like an old research station. Around him, officers worked at computers that were more advanced than anything the aliens had ever seen. Phase 1 complete, reported Commander Ryan Bell over the secure channel. The enemy believes we are defeated. Morrison nodded. The battle near Mars had been theater, a show to make the aliens think they had won. Every human ship that was destroyed had actually used advanced hologram technology to fake their deaths. The crews were safe, their ships hidden in the shadow of Mars. Dr. Martinez, are you ready for the reveal? Morrison asked. Dr. Kevin Martinez was a thin man with thick glasses who looked more like a teacher than a weapon designer. But he was the smartest person in the solar system when it came to building things that could fight. All systems are green, Kevin said. The hidden fleet is ready to show what we can really do. For 150 years, humans had been building ships in secret. They had taken the best technology from every alien species they met and made it better. While the galaxy thought Earth was just a farm world, human engineers had been creating weapons that could change the balance of power forever. Begin Phase 2, Morrison ordered. Throughout the solar system, things that looked like space junk began to change. Old mining ships grew new parts. Broken space stations came to life with lights and power. Empty asteroids split open to show the battleships hidden inside. Captain Danny Torres stood on the bridge of his ship, the Washington. For 20 years, it had looked like a cargo hauler carrying supplies between the outer planets. Now it's fake. Hull fell away to show a sleek warship with weapons that could destroy a moon. All hands, this is the captain, Danny announced. Today we stop hiding. Today we show the galaxy what humans can really do. Near Jupiter, Commander Angela Davis smiled as her ship dropped its disguise. The Phoenix had been pretending to be a research vessel studying the gas giant's moons. In reality, it was a stealth frigate that could appear and disappear like a ghost. Stealth systems online, her navigation officer reported. We are invisible to their sensors. Good, Angela said. Let us give them something to be afraid of. Back near Earth, War Marshal Kexthar was giving orders to his fleet commanders. Begin landing operations on the moon. We will use it as a base to control Earth. His sensor officer suddenly looked confused. Sir, I am reading new contacts, many new contacts. What do you mean? Kexthar demanded. Ships, sir. Hundreds of them, appearing all around us. They were not there a minute ago. Kexthar looked at his main screen and felt his blood turn cold. Where space had been empty, now there were human ships everywhere. Not the small, weak vessels they had just destroyed, but real warships that looked fast and deadly. How is this possible? He whispered. Admiral Morrison's face appeared on every screen in the alien fleet. He looked calm and confident, not like a man who had just lost a battle. War Marshal Kexthar, Morrison said. Let me introduce you to the real human fleet. For 150 years, we have been preparing for this moment. We learned long ago that our greatest strength is being underestimated. Around the alien fleet, more human ships appeared. They moved with grace and speed that seemed impossible. Their hulls were smooth and dark, like shadows come to life. You wanted to see what humans could do, Morrison continued. Now you will learn why that was a mistake. The aliens found themselves surrounded by over 400 human vessels. Ships that should not exist, carrying weapons that defied everything. They knew about human technology. War Marshal Kexthar realized he had made a terrible error. The humans had not been hiding because they were weak. They had been hiding because they were strong, waiting for the right moment to show their true power. The real war was about to begin. War Marshal Kexthar stared at the screen showing human ships all around his fleet. His hands shook as he counted them. 400 ships where there should have been empty space. His intelligence officers had been completely wrong. All ships. Battle stations, he ordered, trying to keep his voice steady. Prepare for combat. But his fleet commanders were already reporting problems. The human ships were not where they should be. They moved too fast and changed direction in ways that seemed impossible. Some appeared to be in two places at once. "Sir," his sensor officer called out, "the human ships are jamming our targeting systems. We cannot lock onto them." Admiral Morrison's voice came over the communication channel again. "War Marshal, you came here to take our world by force. Let me show you why that was a bad idea." The first real battle began near Jupiter's largest moon. Captain Steve Miller commanded a group of 5 human destroyers against 12 Korthak heavy cruisers. The alien ships were each 3 times bigger than the human vessels. "All ships, attack pattern Delta," Steve ordered. "Show them what speed can do." The human destroyers moved like dancers, spinning and weaving between the alien ships. The Korthak cruisers fired their main guns, but the humans were already somewhere else by the time the energy beams reached their targets. Steve's ship, the Boston, fired a spread of missiles at the lead Korthak vessel. But these were not normal missiles. They split apart in flight, becoming dozens of smaller warheads that hit the alien ship from every direction at once. The Korthak cruiser's shields failed in seconds. The warheads punched through its armor like it was made of paper. Explosions lit up the darkness as the alien ship broke apart. "Impossible," the Korthak fleet commander whispered. "Their weapons are too advanced." The other human destroyers attacked in the same way. Within minutes, all 12 alien cruisers were either destroyed or crippled. The human ships had taken no damage at all. Captain Steve opened a channel to the surviving aliens. "Surrender now, and we will let you live. Keep fighting, and you will join your friends in the void." The Korthak commander looked at his ruined fleet and made the smart choice. "We surrender." Near Mars, Commander Angela Davis was having fun with her stealth ship. The Phoenix could make itself look like 5 different ships on alien sensors, all moving in different directions. A group of Zephyrian battle cruisers was trying to chase her, but they could not figure out which target was real. Their weapons fired at empty space while Angela's ship appeared behind them and launched a spread of torpedoes. "This is too easy," her weapons officer said as they watched another alien ship explode. "Do not get too confident," Angela warned. "The real test comes when they figure out how to adapt." But the aliens were not adapting. They were panicking. Their commanders had trained to fight enemies who followed the same rules they did. The humans were doing things that their tactical computers said were impossible. On his flagship, War Marshal Kexthar was getting reports from all over the battle area. Ship after ship was being destroyed or forced to surrender. The humans were not just winning, they were making it look easy. "How are they doing this?" he demanded from his science officer. "Their ships appear to use adaptive technology," the scientist replied. "Their shields change frequency to match our weapons. Their engines are more powerful than our calculations show is possible. And their targeting systems seem to predict where our ships will be before we move there." Chief designer Carol White watched the battle from her hidden laboratory inside what looked like a broken asteroid. She had spent 30 years designing the human fleet, and seeing her ships in action made her proud. "The adaptive shielding is working perfectly," she told her assistant. "The alien weapons cannot penetrate our defenses." "What about the psychological warfare systems?" the assistant asked. Carol smiled. "Look at the alien communications. They are confused and scared. When you cannot trust your own sensors, how can you fight effectively?" She was right. The alien fleet was falling apart, not just from damage, but from fear. Captains were reporting things that could not be true. Ships that disappeared and reappeared. Weapons that seemed to bend around their targets. Humans who fought like they could read minds. Captain Tony Rodriguez was leading a squadron of human frigates against a group of alien destroyers when he noticed something strange in the enemy communications he was monitoring. "Admiral Morrison," he called over the secure channel. "I am picking up coded messages between the alien fleets. This is not about food or farmland. They are talking about stopping human expansion before we become too powerful." Morrison's face appeared on Tony's screen. "What do you mean?" "Sir, I think this whole war was planned from the beginning. Some of the alien species have been watching us for decades. They are afraid of what we might become." Morrison felt anger building in his chest. The attack on Earth was not about resources. It was about fear. The aliens were trying to destroy humanity before humans could challenge their control of the galaxy. "Captain Rodriguez, can you break their command codes?" "Already working on it, sir. Give me 10 minutes. While Tony worked on the alien communications, the battle continued to go badly for the assembly fleet. Human ships appeared and disappeared like ghosts. Their weapons hit targets with perfect accuracy, while alien shots missed completely. "Commander." Nancy Green was coordinating the defense from her hidden base on what looked like a research station near Ceres. In reality, it was a massive fortress with enough firepower to destroy a small fleet. "All human ships, this is Ceres Control," she announced. "Enemy reinforcements are approaching from the outer system. Prepare for Phase 3 of the battle plan." Nancy had been studying alien tactics for 20 years. She knew how they thought and how they fought. More importantly, she knew their weaknesses. "Activate the gravity manipulation systems," she ordered. Her crew dot around the human fleet. Space itself began to change. Asteroids that had been floating peacefully suddenly started moving toward the alien ships. The humans were using gravity as a weapon, turning space rocks into missiles traveling at incredible speed. War Marshal Kekthar watched in horror as a mountain-sized asteroid smashed into one of his battle cruisers. The alien ship crumpled like paper and exploded in a ball of fire. "Retreat," he ordered. "All ships, retreat to the outer system." But Admiral Morrison was not done with them yet. "This is Admiral Morrison to all assembly forces. You came here to destroy our world. Now you will learn what it means to fight humanity when we stop holding back." The human fleet began to move forward, chasing the retreating aliens. For the first time in the war, the assembly forces were running from humans. The tide had turned, and everyone in the solar system knew it. The news of the alien defeat spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Species that had been part of the assembly for hundreds of years were shocked. The humans, who everyone thought were just farmers, had crushed the greatest military force in known space. War Marshal Kekthar stood in his command room, staring at the damage reports. Half of his fleet was destroyed or badly damaged. The other half was scattered across the outer solar system, hiding behind moons and asteroids. "Sir," his communication officer said nervously, "we are receiving messages from the Assembly Council. They want to know how we lost so badly." Keksthar's yellow eyes burned with rage. "Tell them the humans cheated. They hid their real strength for over a century. No one could have expected this." But even as he said it, he knew it was not true. The humans had not cheated. They had been smart. While the galaxy looked down on them, they had been preparing for war. "Sir," another officer reported, "more ships are coming. Over 2,000 vessels from across the galaxy. The Assembly is sending everything they have." Kekthar felt hope return to his chest. 2,000 ships against 400. Even with their advanced technology, the humans could not win against those numbers. Admiral Morrison was watching the same reports from his command ship, the Constitution. The massive vessel had been hidden inside what looked like a space station for 50 years. Now it moved through space like a dark angel of death. "Sir," Commander Ryan Bell reported, "long-range sensors show the incoming fleet. They have ships From 12 different species. This is the largest military force ever assembled. Morrison nodded. He had expected this. The galaxy would not let humanity win without a real fight. Activate Operation Stormbreak, he ordered. It is time to show them the full strength of the human race. Throughout the solar system, hidden shipyards began to move. What had looked like empty space stations and broken asteroids suddenly came alive with activity. Thousands of construction robots that had been sleeping for decades woke up and began their work. Captain Bob Johnson watched from the bridge of his battleship as the hidden facility behind Saturn's rings opened like a giant flower. Inside were 200 brand new warships, each one bigger and more advanced than anything the humans had shown so far. Launch sequence initiated, his engineering officer reported. All ships will be operational in 6 hours, Bob smiled. He had been waiting 20 years to command one of these new vessels. The shipyard had been building them in secret, using technology that improved with every battle lesson learned. Signal the fleet, he ordered. Tell them the cavalry is coming. Commander. Nancy Green was busy at Ceres Base, preparing for the biggest battle in human history. Her hidden fortress was revealed now, its weapons pointing toward the edge of the solar system where the alien reinforcements would arrive. Gravity manipulation systems are online, her weapons officer reported. We can move any asteroid in the belt. Nancy looked at the tactical display showing thousands of space rocks floating around them. Each one could become a weapon traveling at incredible speed. The aliens would be flying into a trap they could not imagine. Begin moving the big ones. Into position, she ordered. When they arrive, we will give them a welcome they will never forget. Captain Tony Rodriguez had been working around the clock to break the alien communication codes. Finally, his computers cracked the encryption, and what he found made his blood run cold. Admiral Morrison, he called urgently. You need to see this. Morrison's face appeared on the screen. What did you find, Captain? Sir, the war was planned 50 years ago. The Assembly has been watching us since we joined the galaxy. They have files on every human colony, every ship we built, every technology we developed. They know about our hidden bases. Morrison felt ice in his veins. How much do they know? Everything, sir. They planned this war to wipe out humanity before we could become a threat. The food shortage story was just an excuse. They want us extinct. The truth hit Morrison like a physical blow. This was not a war over resources. It was genocide disguised as politics. The aliens had come to Earth not to conquer it, but to destroy every human in the galaxy. Captain Rodriguez, send this information to every human colony and ship in space. They need to know what we are really fighting for. Meanwhile, the massive alien reinforcement fleet was approaching the solar system. Ships from 12 different species flew together in the largest military formation ever seen. They came from the warrior Zephians, the technical Korthic, the proud Altarians, and 9 other races. But Captain Tony had discovered something else in the alien communications. Several species were not happy about the real purpose of the war. Admiral, he reported, the Altarians are having second thoughts. They joined the fleet thinking this was about resources. Now that they know it is about extinction, some of their captains are questioning orders. Morrison saw an opportunity. Open a channel to the Altarian fleet commander. The screen showed Admiral Zareth, a tall blue-skinned being with 4 arms and silver eyes. She had been Earth's friend for many years when humans first joined the galaxy. Admiral Morrison, she said sadly, I wish this meeting was under better circumstances. Admiral Zareth, do you know the real reason your fleet is here? The alien leader's silver eyes grew troubled. We were told Earth was not providing enough food for the galaxy. Morrison's face was grim. Captain Rodriguez, send Admiral Zareth the communication intercepts. For several minutes, the alien admiral read the secret messages. Her 4 hands trembled as she realized the truth. The assembly leaders had lied to her people. This was not about food or resources. It was about destroying humanity because they were afraid of human potential. "This is genocide," she whispered. "My people do not fight wars of extinction." "Then help us stop it," Morrison said. "Help us show the galaxy that strength and wisdom can work together." Admiral Zareth looked at the human ships around her. They could have destroyed her fleet easily, but instead they were offering friendship. The humans were showing mercy even to those who came to destroy them. "I will withdraw my ships," she said. "But I cannot stop the others. They are too afraid of what humans might become." As the Altarian ships turned away from the battle, other species began to question their orders. The unified alien fleet started to break apart as different races argued about the true purpose of the war. But War Marshal Kexthar was not giving up. He still had over 1,500 ships, and he was determined to finish where he started. "All remaining ships prepare for final assault," he ordered. "We will destroy Earth and every human in space. The galaxy will thank us later." The alien fleet moved toward Earth like a wave of death. But they were flying into a trap that had been 50 years in the making. Admiral Morrison stood on the bridge of the Constitution, watching the enemy approach. Around him, the largest human fleet ever assembled waited for his orders. "All ships," he announced. "This is not just a battle for Earth. This is a battle for the right of humanity to exist. Today, we show the galaxy that we will not go quietly into the night." The final battle was about to begin. War Marshal Kexthar led his remaining 1,500 ships toward Earth in one final desperate attack. His reptilian face was twisted with rage and fear. If he failed now, his own people would remove him from command. Worse, the galaxy would know that humans could not be stopped. "All ships, maximum speed," he ordered. "We will break through their defenses and destroy their home world." History will remember this day as the end of the human threat, but Admiral Morrison was ready for him. The human fleet had grown to over 600 ships as they hid in construction. Yards finished their work. Each vessel was more advanced than anything the galaxy had ever seen. "All ships, this is Admiral Morrison," he announced to his fleet. "The enemy comes to destroy everything we love. Show them why that was a mistake." The final battle began in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Commander Nancy Green had spent days moving the largest asteroids into perfect positions. When the alien fleet entered the belt, they found themselves flying through a maze of floating mountains. "Gravity weapons fire," Nancy ordered. Invisible forces grabbed dozens of asteroids and hurled them at the alien ships like cosmic cannonballs. Each rock was the size of a city block and moving faster than a bullet. The first wave of alien vessels had no time to dodge. War Marshal Kexthar watched in horror as 20 of his ships were crushed by flying asteroids. "Return fire," he screamed. "Destroy their weapons platforms." But there were no platforms to destroy. The humans were using the asteroid belt itself as a weapon. Every rock could become a missile at any moment. Captain Chuck Wilson led the human attack from the front lines. His ship, the Liberty, danced between the alien vessels like a fighter jet among elephants. The alien ships were powerful but slow. The human ships were fast and smart. "Target their command ship," Chuck ordered his weapons officer. "Let us end this war." The Liberty fired a spread of quantum torpedoes at the Dominion's edge. These were not normal weapons. They could pass through shields and armor like they were not there. The torpedoes hit Kexthar's flagship and exploded inside. Its engine room. The massive alien ship shuddered and began to lose power. Emergency lights flashed as systems failed throughout the vessel. "Sir," Kexthar's engineering officer reported, "main power is failing. We are dead in space." But Kexthar was not finished. "All ships, concentrate fire on that human vessel. Destroy it at any cost." 50 alien ships turned their weapons on Chuck's ship. Energy beams and missiles filled the space around the Liberty. But the human ship moved like it was alive, dodging and weaving between the attacks. "Their targeting systems cannot keep up with us," Chuck's pilot said with a grin. "Then let us give them something to really worry about," Chuck replied. The Liberty activated its newest weapon, something the aliens had never seen before. The ship seemed to split into 5 identical copies, all moving in different directions. The alien gunners did not know which one to shoot at. "Impossible," whispered an alien captain. "How can one ship be in 5 places at once?" The answer was human creativity. While aliens built their technology based on logic and rules, humans built theirs based on imagination and possibility. The multiple images were real ships, created by bending space and time in ways that alien science said could not be done. All 5 copies of the Liberty fired at once. The alien ships found themselves under attack from every direction. Within minutes, the entire enemy squadron was destroyed or surrendering. Across the battle area, similar scenes played out. Human ships appeared and disappeared like ghosts. Their weapons hit targets that should have been impossible to reach. Their defenses stopped attacks that should have destroyed them. Captain Tony Rodriguez had been monitoring alien communications throughout the battle. What he heard made him smile. "Admiral Morrison," he reported, "the enemy fleet is falling apart. Their captains are reporting that humans fight like we can see the future. Some are asking permission to surrender." Morrison nodded. The psychological warfare was working. When an enemy cannot understand how you fight, fear does more damage than weapons. "Open a channel to all alien ships," Morrison ordered. His face appeared on screens throughout the enemy fleet. He looked calm and confident, not like someone in the middle of a desperate battle. "Attention all assembly forces," he said. "This war was based on lies and fear. Your leaders told you that humans were a threat that had to be stopped. But look around you. We could have destroyed your entire fleet hours ago. Instead, we offer you a choice." War Marshal Kexthar tried to cut off the transmission, but his communication systems were not working. Morrison continued. "Surrender now, and you will be treated with honor. Continue fighting, and you will be destroyed. The choice is yours." One by one, alien ships began to lower their weapons. Their captains had seen enough. The humans were not just winning, they were making it look easy. Fighting them was not brave, it was suicide. "Sir," Kexthar's communication officer said quietly, 60% of our ships have surrendered. The rest are requesting permission to withdraw." Kexthar felt his world crumbling around him. His mighty fleet was beaten by farmers and miners who had pretended to be weak. The greatest military force in the galaxy had been defeated by humans who fought with their minds as much as their weapons. "I will not surrender," he snarled. "Signal the remaining ships. We fight to the death." But his own crew had heard enough. His second in command, a younger Zephyrian named Tekver, stepped forward. "Sir, with respect, this war is over. Our people did not sign up to commit genocide. We are soldiers, not murderers." Kexthar reached for his weapon, but Tekver was faster. The young officer stunned his commander and took control of the ship. "This is Commander Tekver of the Dominion's Edge," he announced to the human fleet. "We surrender. We request mercy for our crews who were following orders." Admiral Morrison's response surprised everyone, including his own officers. "Commander Tekver, your surrender is accepted. All alien personnel will be treated according to the laws of war. Those who wish to return home may do so. Those who prefer to remain and learn about human ways are welcome to stay." The war was over. The greatest military force in galactic history had been defeated by a species they thought was weak. But more importantly, the humans had won without becoming monsters themselves. President Lisa Carter addressed the galaxy from the steps of the White House. Behind her, alien and human diplomats stood together, working on a new treaty that would change the balance of power forever. Today, humanity proved that we are ready to take our place among the stars, she said. Not as conquerors, but as protectors. We offer our technology and our friendship to any species that wants peace. War Marshal Kexthar, now a prisoner, watched the speech from his cell. How? He asked Admiral Morrison, who had come to visit. Him. How did you hide your strength for so long? Morrison sat down across from the defeated alien leader. Because we learned the most important lesson in the universe. Sometimes the greatest strength is letting others think you are weak. We were never hiding from the galaxy. We were waiting for the right moment to show what humanity could become. Years later, children from dozens of different species would learn together in schools on Earth and other human worlds. The secret fleet became the protectors of galactic peace, stopping wars before they could start. And in the history books, scholars would write about the day when humanity stopped pretending to be weak and showed the galaxy what they could accomplish when they worked together. The war had ended not with destruction, but with hope. And that, more than any weapon, was humanity's greatest victory.